What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Question, where you have the questions and I have the answers. And today I'm going to answer my own question, which is, what is the dreidel? Where did it come from? And why do we play it during Hanukkah? Before we get started, though, the usual spiel: like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new. I make random videos about everything at this point, and if that's what you're into, you just like seeing my face, push that subscribe button. And I hope we can become good friends. Without further ado, let's get on to the video. So for those of you who don't know, the dreidel, or the dreidel game, is the spinning top with 4 sides and a different Hebrew letter on each side to denote how to play the game. It's a gambling game, and that you play with friends and family during Hanukkah. And the reason that I had a question of where does it come from, why do we do it, is because it's not a mitzvah. It's not something that needs to be done to celebrate the holiday. The only thing that you need to do for Hanukkah is to light the menorah each night. By the way, happy Hanukkah. It is currently day 3. It's going to be night 4, so we're almost halfway through Hanukkah. But aside from lighting the menorah each night, you don't need to do anything else. So where did this tradition come from? Why do we not play it at any other time? Why is it only on Hanukkah? And what do the letters mean? There's a lot of speculation in the Jewish community about what the letters mean, why were they chosen, and so on and so forth. So I decided to answer all my questions, and I thought that it would be a fun Hanukkah-themed educational video, seeing that very few people actually know what Hanukkah is who aren't Jewish. But also we don't, as Jews, don't really know where the dreidel game comes from anyway, so I just thought it would be an interesting video to make. Now to start off, the dreidel and the dreidel game is not of Jewish origin. Jews adopted the practice closer to the Middle Ages, but it did not originate in Jewish communities. It is basically our own version of a very popular gambling spinning top game, known pretty much globally at the time as teetotum, which was the name of the top, and it had different markings on all sides to denote how to play the game and who got what pieces. But this specifically, Jews adopted it in Germany, so it is an Ashkenazi Jewish tradition originally, though I think it has spread to most other types of Jewish traditions, but it is Ashkenazi in origin. And in Germany it was called Dreidel, which is where we get the word dreidel from, because it is a Yiddish word, once again because it's Ashkenazi, not just straight Jewish. And Yiddish is a mixture of Hebrew and German, so they have very similar words, and so since the German word was Dreidel, this is dreidel. Basically both mean that they're a spinning top. And so it was a popular game most places in the world, but why did Jews take such an affinity to it? That's because, and why did we take to it for Hanukkah? Because Hanukkah is normally a winter holiday. It takes place usually around the same time as Christmas, and if not in the same time of Christmas, at least in the same area of winter. I think the earliest I've ever lived through a Hanukkah was one time we had it at the same time as Thanksgiving. But that's very rare. I think it happens every like 100 years or so. So it's not very common. Usually it is in like mid to later December, around the same time as Christmas. However, and this is not as widely known, Jews also used to have a holiday during Christmas Eve and Christmas called Mitternacht, and that holiday was basically Jews should stay inside their homes and not do anything Jewish and not leave their homes for 24 hours, or else the Christians will attack them and kill them. Because it turns out during the Middle Ages, Christians don't like Jews that much, especially in Europe. So that was kind of a mandate, a social mandate that they had to live through. And if you're not allowed to practice your religion, you're not allowed to go outside, what do? You try to make the best of it, and you did this by playing games. And what was the most popular game around the time? Dreidel. And so they started playing the dreidel game because that's all they really had to do. And to make it easy for themselves to remember how to play the game, and to make it kind of more like Jewish in origin and more accustomed to them since they were the ones playing it, was they changed the letters on the dreidel from German letters that didn't know how to play it to Hebrew letters. And they made the Hebrew letters were chosen not because they had any kind of message, which we think they do now, but because they were easy to insinuate and denote how to play the game. So the ones we have now are Nun, Shin, He, and Gimel. And so it's very easy to remember. Nun, you get none if it lands on that. Shin, you put one in. Gimel, you get all. And He, you get half. And that's where the letters were chosen. And that's how dreidel became a household game during Hanukkah or during the winter season. So there's nothing overly religious about it, nothing specifically Jewish about it. How did we get the phrase Nes Gadol Hayasham? How did we connect this to the broader meanings of Hanukkah? And that came later in 1890, where people were beginning to do Torah studies again. People were being allowed to be more Jewish out in the open, being allowed to do more Torah studies out in the open. And basically Torah scholars were like, whoa, if this is such an important tradition for Hanukkah, is there a way that we can connect this to the meaning of Hanukkah? And so they came up with the phrase with the letters, Nes Gadol Hayasham, or a great thing happened there, to connect it back to the miracle of the oil, which is why we have Hanukkah. And from there, if you go to Israel, they don't have shin on their dreidels, they have pei, because to them the sentence is Nes Gadol Hayapo, or a great thing happened here, because Israel is the place where most of our holidays came about. Since Israel, the land of Israel, is the historic, ancient homeland of the Jews, and that's where it takes place in the Torah. And so if you go to Israel, their dreidels are different, but it is of Ashkenazi origin, and it originally wasn't a religious signifier, but now it kind of is, which is interesting. Either way, it's a really fun game to play, a lot of fun, and traditionally you use gelt, or these like chocolate coins to bet with. You can bet with actual money, but I prefer chocolate. It's a lot tastier than money. So if you've never played it, I suggest that you do. It's a lot of fun, and really easy to pick up, really easy to learn. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate and to those who don't, because if I have to listen to people tell me Merry Christmas all of December, you can handle me saying Happy Hanukkah for a week. But yeah. So long and thanks for all the fish. Be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.